Voice of Lofa County. Woo! Stress free. That's the voice of Sange Goba, welcoming us to the Sunday week, the Sunday edition of the post-election stress-free Never We Are movement section. Vanjama City. Lofa County, where you are? We are about to make history. Right, Lofa County. Rock the floor. That's the voice of Sange Goba, a true daughter of Lofa County. That's how we start the stress-free session of the Never We Are movement. The most patriotic, the most nationalistic, the most vocal, and the strongest. Newton City, Castle, where you are? Giving up is not an option. Rocking the boy, voice of Lofa County, the broad basket. Woo. This is Lofa County Collabo. Shout out to all of the people of Lofa County, to the great people of Bapolu, the great people of Grand Bassa County, the great people of Maserado. Woo! Internal unity is the best way forward. Oh yeah. KBK. Those are yeah. Great people of Lofa County, man. We are the Never We Are movement. We will prevail. We shall, inshallah, we will prevail. Inshallah. In the name of Allah, the most gracious and the most merciful, we will prevail. We will defeat the forces of evil and deliver our country safely in the hands of a good captain of the ship, the great people of Lofa County. Where you are, stand up in the house, man. We love to say thank you to the great people of Lofa County for standing by their own, right? Let me know. That's how we come to the beginning of the Never We Are movement stress-free session. We are taking it to the floor. We say thank you to Sis Sange Goba. Next on our presentation will be Sis Maron Dwakasel. Stay tuned. This is the Never We Are movement post-election weekend. Your own, yeah. We have to say thank you to Ambassador Joseph Yuma Baka for his service to the nation and our county. The great people of Lofa County, the great people of Liberia, we love to say thank you. And this is how we started, and we will just call Sis Maron.
Prophesy to you, you will rise, you will shine, you will prosper in Africa. Give the word. Liberia, sweet land of prophesy to you, you will rise, you will shine, you will prosper in Africa. Give the word.
Taking it to the dancing floor this Sunday evening. Sis Maron Dwell herself. Ambassador, we prophesy to you, you will rise, you will shine, you will prosper in Africa. If you hate Liberia, you on your own.
of labor free.
We prophesy to you.
You will rise, you will shine, you will prosper in Africa. Yeah, the world. You are lifted.
Amen. Hallelujah.
My hero, you are lifted. We prophesy to you. You are lifted. You are lifted. Kingdom shall come to your life. Nations shall come to your life.
We are the Never We Are movement.
You are lifted.
Mm.
We prophesy to you.
You are lifted.
We prophesy prosperity in the government.
Mm.
We prophesy righteousness in the government. We prophesy holiness in the government. Oh,
Autopsy of Sis Maria Cassell, Ambassador.
you are lifted.
If you think you will set up out there in our country, we will defeat you. We will defeat you. We will defeat you. We will defeat you, reactionary forces.
Liberia, sweet land of liberty. We prophesy to you, you will rise, you will shine, you will prosper in Africa. Yeah, the world. Liberia, sweet land of liberty.
Elijah Amma, welcome.
Prophesy to you, you will rise,
Happy Sunday, man.
you will prosper.
How you doing, Tim Cooper? Young Johnson DK Kesselly. This is the Never We Are movement. Post-election weekend section. Stress free.
For the day of your lifting has come. For favor shall embrace you from every angle. And your enemies shall see your lifting, shall see your rising and bow. Hallelujah. Come on, join me. Let's celebrate Jesus.
Melvin J. Fire. Welcome, brother.
You are lifted.
Amen. Hallelujah.
You are lifted. Amen. We prophesy to you.
You are lifted. Share the video. Share the video. Share the video. Amen. Lord Smith, I salute you. I salute all of the great people of Liberia. Election 2017. Dance it up, man. Shake it out. You are lifted. You are lifted. We love to say hi to the former president-elect, former president-elect of the Republic of Liberia, Ambassador George Weah, former president-elect. Yeah, Alexander. Stay on your lead, man. We'll get your time. Alex, shake it out, man. The stress getting you hotter. Can I drink drinks? Shout out to the former president-elect of the Republic of Liberia, Ambassador George Okomanawiya.
Every enemy against you shall be destroyed.
Yeah! Woo. Yeah, you are lifted. Popular demand, popular demand, popular demand, popular demand, popular demand. If you look, this is exclusively for the people that believe that George Weah should not be elected president of the Republic of Liberia. If you think you don't want to see it, pause your eye. Y'all will balance. Ellis, man. Oh, love that. Harris, I salute you, man. Welcome. Mama Ellis, share the video. Share the video. You know you are already part of the movement.
We prophesy to you, you will rise.
You will join the Never We Are movement. We are the most patriotic movement in the history of Liberia, the most independent.
We prophesy to you, you will rise, you will shine, you will prosper in Africa. Yeah, the world. You are lifted.
Amen. Hallelujah.
You are lifted.
I hope you pray for Liberia today.
You are lifted. Amen. Hallelujah. You are lifted. Amen. Hallelujah. Kingdom shall come to your life. Amen. Hallelujah.
Nation shall come to your right.
Amen. Hallelujah. Liberia, you are lifted. Amen. We prophesy to you, you are lifted. Amen. Hallelujah. We prophesy prosperity in the government. Amen. We prophesy righteousness in the government. Amen. We prophesy holiness in the government.
Tell us. Hey, you are lifted. Hey, you are lifted. I love that. I love that. I love Liberia, man. I love this country. I love Liberia, man. I love this country. I love them.
Liberia, England of legacy. We prophesy to you, you will rise, you will shine, you will prosper in Africa. Yeah, the world. Liberia, England of legacy.
We prophesy to you, you will rise.
You will shine, you will prosper in Africa. Yeah, the world. Hallelujah. Come on, Liberia.
Come on.
Up from your slumber and enlarge your course. For the day of your lifting has come. For favor shall embrace you from every angle. And your enemies shall see your lifting. They shall see your rising and bow. Hallelujah. Come on, join me. Let's celebrate Jesus. You are lifted.
Amen. Amara Fofana. You are lifted. No, you will not. We will defeat you. You are lifted.
Kingdom shall come to your life. Nation shall bow to your right.
Liberia, you are lifted. We are the Never We Are movement. We are energizing for November 7th. We already know. Neil Green. Welcome, brother. He has come. He has come. Amen. Hallelujah. You are lifted. You are lifted.
Imagine your goal.
Imagine your yeah, any group of people that will see our downfall in Liberia, we will destroy them.
Shall come to your lifting.
Amen.
Every enemy against you shall be.
No fight, Julius. We love to say thank you to Sis Maron Cassell. We will quickly join Sis Ophelia Dawolo. Mariama Mimi Yang, welcome. We're taking it cool, man.
Jesus is working for me.
Hey, when I worry, Jesus working for me.
Jesus is working for me.
Pajo, go sleep, man. Pajo, go sleep. Pajo, go sleep. The election part finished.
It was a lot of fun to compete out there on a special field.
I've never participated in anything like that before.
We are taking a little commercial break. We will be right back. Patrick Bangali, welcome, brother. We are listening to Sis Ophelia. This is the Never We Are movement. Evening section, Sunday evening relaxation. If you can't stand it,
Jesus is working for me.
Jesus working for us. What are we worrying for? We are working for Zuna already. 3-0.
Jesus is working for me.
Political ticket. Oh.
Jesus is working for me. My Jesus is working for me, man.
Hey, my brother, we are hanging here. We just enjoying ourselves, man. We energizing. Jesus working for us, man. I love to say hi to the former president-elect of the Republic of Liberia, Ambassador George Weah, former president-elect. How you doing, brother?
When the enemies come one way, they shall flee 700 ways. When you're born around, all the enemies should get you. Jesus is working for you. My friend, why should you worry? I know that he's working for you. No, should you worry? Jesus is working for me.
Abel, come here. How you doing, brother? Take it easy, man. Don't allow the election to pull you off track, man.
To take charge of everything around me, because he is my Lord. I'm an original child of God. Not a photocopy, man. I believe I will never suffer. Not a word of them for prayer. Because he has blessed me there for prayer. Then let me live my innocence.
Vivian, Jack Calon, welcome. We're taking it easy, man. We are the Never We Are movement. We are the most nationalistic and patriotic movement. Join us. The fastest growing movement in the history of Liberia.
That's why I say, oh, he is working for me.
Okay, Patrick.
He is working for me.
How is Mars, man?
He is working for me. Jesus is working for me, man. What should I worry about? Hey, no, what should I worry about? Jehovah is working for my good. He is working. In my trials, he's working for me.
Oh, my brother. Devla Small. My brother. Welcome over here. We're taking it small, man. Pajo, go relax, man. Oh yeah, we are back. We're taking it easy. We're in the Garden State. We're monitoring it from Cape Maserado. Oh, Dada Lila. Oh, the cartel has become a glitch, man. Y'all change it, man. Everybody say cartel now, cartel. Henry H. Silly. How you doing, brother? Shaq Sharif. How you doing, Chief? Doris Smith. Oh yeah, don't worry about my tongue.
Jesus is working for me. 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 Jesus is working for me.
We are bringing in, says one of our. Is that says Calvin? Sunday evening, man. Relax it, man. Shout out to our partner in progress, one of the biggest online entertainment industry, the JB Entertainment TV. We love to salute you. And don't forget, our late night Never We Are Movement section will be carried live on the JB Entertainment TV network. You can tune in and participate. Says Jabata, I salute you, man. Right. Joe, you will make it with Jehovah by your side. We proclaim and declare this Sunday that you shall be inaugurated as President of the Republic of Liberia. Political prophecy. When you make out today Sunday, man, today Sunday. Zanga David. Take it easy, man. Uncle Joe, go sleep, Papi. I say you can sleep. Go sleep. We are. You're picking a yet. Shout out to the former president-elect of the Republic of Liberia, former president-elect Ambassador George Weah, former president-elect Lawrence Pugh. Stress-free. We are the Never We Are movement. Don't forget to join us tonight on the JB Entertainment TV network. Our midnight show is always hosted by Comrade Melitan, Yotan Sidike Kesali, Okafa, Ozio Rocket. How you doing? Welcome. Oh yeah, my brother, we are opening the Never We Are movement. Zanga is the biggest political movement in the history of this country. This is the only movement that has created a checkpoint. We will create a complete checkpoint. We have contained the CDC. And we will tell you that the CDC is completely in this array, and we will map them up politically. The days of the CDC is numbered. Bestie Old Stone. How you doing, man? CDC right struggling. CDC is on life support. Political life support. So now we are going to turn over to Morris King. Nima 1. What my Nima kind of people? What my Nima people? Evangelist King. Morris King. A true patriot. A son of Nima County. I love him. I love his music. Ganta City. Nima Kwakado. Kwakado. Nima Kante Kwakado. What a difference between Nima Kante, Lofa Kante, and Cape Man, and Muscle. Look, man, we are one. We are going to do it. We are going to win bigly. Bigly. We are the Never We Are movement. Nima Kante. I love Nima. I love the GB. I love the GB. I love Ganta. The people are nice people. If we can't stand the heat in the kitchen, get out, man. The Never We Are movement is here to stay. We will overcome. We will defeat them. We will. Giving up is not an option, Dave. We are dancing the David dance. Shout out to the former president-elect of the Republic of Liberia, former president-elect George Weah. He was announced by the executive committee of the CDC. When you Maka, how Georgie doing? He consulted his stress doctor. Anita Kumba. Hey man, we said never we are. They say who is supporting? Uncle Joe, to answer your question. Our land clear, second one here. Thank God there is no constitutional regulation when we talk on Facebook. So you have to draw new law, create new law, new statute that will include Facebook. As it stands, we are in the framework of the law. We never we are movement. What is GBR? Everybody invited for the barbecue. After the election result, you are all invited for the barbecue. I'll be having a barbecue. It's just to be announced soon. S. Edward Samuel, welcome. Morris King, man. If you can't be happy now, you'll be happy. My Baba. My brother, inshallah, Nima will be united. We will work together in Nima County. The Nimbayans will work together as a unit. I love Nima County. I love that county. Very good people. Morrisky, man, I enjoy this guy, man. I won't cry, I won't cry. Shout out to the former president-elect. Former president-elect, y'all hear me? Former president-elect. We will beat them. We will beat them. Face down. Reactionary forces. Josephine S. Barato. Welcome. Roland Ye. Mike Ato, welcome, brother. Enjoy it, man. That's what we do. Nima Kante, where you are? The Kingmaker PYJ. And you say you carry a metal call, you on your own. You see, I ain't good to attack your big brother sometimes. Be fast to hear, but slow to talk. You see these people, you talk too damn much. Now, let's see. Time to do business. Let me play my Nima music and drink my drinks here. Terry said, I love Nima, man. Mama, you ate GB today? Mr. Dan, man, why you here today? Nima Kwakado. You don't work together and win this election. So now we love to say thank you to Morris King. And we are going to switch. We are going to switch quickly to our brother, one of the strongest dancers in our country. And he's called Friday the Cell Phone Man. Nima lo fa kolabo. Keke makante. Papolu. Oh! What my Basa people? Besson. I love Grand Basa. I love the fufu. I love those people. Councilor Bronsky. How you doing, Pape? When I meet you, Pape Cowboy. Joyce. Every day we're just talking politics. We discussing because next week come inside, Charlie. My man, I'm a private sector member, man. You know me, man, for day one. I love my hustle. Don't worry about that. We just need a good government. Place in charge. Don't enter here, man. Uncle Joe go sleep. Uncle Joe little. How my we yo? But not sleeping. If we can't stand it, he go sleep, man. You think like elephant meat? Oh yeah, private sector, man. I'm a businessman. Don't worry about me. You on your own, man. Don't worry about me. Oh yeah, I got business for you. Anita, I got business for you. Good business, man. Very good business. You want to do business with me? Wait until after the election. But with Togo, I will give you my number. Call me. Tonight, the Never We Are movement regular midnight session will be on the JB Entertainment Television Network. Follow us, Nocturne DK Castle. Oh, the best person is already known, Joseph Numa Braka. The CDC men are funny, yeah? They say they want to hear the video, they want to listen to the video, but then they can't leave the line. You're spying me? Yeah, I ain't going. George, I can't kill me. I be kind of George, we are. George, I get our stand. Oh, how you want to run the country? You want to start killing people? You see trouble? Oh, okay, come back with talk, yeah? I will get you my number. Come around, nobody can kill me, man. Shout out to the former president-elect, George Weah. Sidiki Dukle. Alright.
Cash your partner this time around. If you don't have a partner, don't enter.
Listen to our midnight session. The Never We Are Movement midnight session is always posted by Young Thompson DK Castle, and it will be going live on the JB Entertainment Television Network. We are the biggest, the strongest, the most vocal, the most patriotic political movement. We will stop that ticket. We will, trust me. Louis Successful, Panko Willie, I salute you. Leo Cisse, my man, the CDC, this array, man, you know that. Oh yeah, they can make it, man. We love to say thank you to Friday, and we will quickly switch to one of our best Liberian musicians right now on the block, Sean P. Sean, where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Give us some music.
Sean P.
Sean P.
Ali.
Yeah, no.
12 on the beat, y'all. LIB.
D12 on the beat.
Y'all see a holding rare cup?
Huh?
Then I said, if we drinking liquor.
We drinking drinks.
No, we're not drinking liquor. We're drinking drinks.
We're not drinking liquor. We're drinking drinks.
We're drinking drinks. We're drinking drinks.
Y'all looking for the old Ali?
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the new Ali. We're drinking drinks. I the only level in there. We're drinking drinks. I'm a Minnesota minute. We're drinking drinks. Don't forget how we looking. We're drinking drinks. Y'all tell me what my Philly minute. We're drinking drinks.
Why my UP minute? Why y'all drinking drinks?
Why my North Dakota minute? We're drinking drinks. Why my South Dakota minute? We're drinking
I said the CDC man at Ross, yeah?
We're drinking drinks. Y'all tell me why the Papa getting. We're drinking drinks. Y'all show me why the ugly getting. We're drinking drinks. Y'all show me why to go and get it. We're drinking drinks.
Yeah. Come on. I will never pay attention to you. I'm drinking drinks right now.
We're drinking liquor.
We're drinking drinks.
No, we're not drinking liquor.
We're drinking drinks.
We're not drinking liquor.
We're drinking drinks. We're drinking drinks. We're drinking drinks.
Y'all see how we celebrating. Then y'all say we're going second round. No, we're not going second round. We're going vote.
Free liquor, free walking.
We're drinking drinks.
Big pocket lot, free pocket.
We're drinking drinks.
See that other side chick.
We're drinking drinks.
I can let she the mean chick.
We're drinking drinks.
CDC that complete side chick.
We're drinking drinks.
That's the right yet.
We're drinking drinks.
Leo Cisse, congratulations for your winning. Go in that way I said now.
We're drinking drinks.
See you.
No baby mama drama.
We're drinking drinks.
We want no drama on our blood, yeah?
We're drinking
We
drinks.
chilling.
See a holding rare cup.
Mm-hmm.
Then I said, if we're drinking liquor. No, we're not drinking liquor.
We're drinking drinks.
We're not drinking liquor.
We're drinking drinks.
Sharpie, can we take this for him? Listen. My little brother can sing, yeah?
Hey.
No bad day.
No bad day for Unity Party or what? Uncle Joe, no bad day.
Listen, I'm bringing trap code. Trap code.
Yeah, man, I'm busy. Another day can be busy. I'm less busy today. Like your business, I'm less busy like your business. Marco, my business, man. Yeah, look, my business, man.
You need a little Maya damn Bennett. Yo, we were killing dog, now we're killing cow.
CDC was killing dog. Now you know the party can be kill a cow.
Got my own style. Hey, I'm married, now you're Bennett.
No.
I haven't been a girlfriend, now you're Bennett.
No. I less busy like your Bennett.
No. I eat McDonald's, now you're Bennett.
No.
I get money.
Like your Bennett.
No.
And I go to work like your Bennett. No.
I find somebody child like your Bennett. No.
You can't win second round like my Bennett.
No. Your friend ain't getting married like your Bennett. No. Your friend ain't born in
I love those. They like my man can sing. You don't put money together and help the men. I beg you, let help them. When Joseph Walker win, we help all the men. We build one of the biggest studios so these guys can make money.
Now give up people, let them Maya Bennett. You need a Maya Bennett. Maya Bennett, I said Maya Bennett. You need a little Maya damn Bennett. I said Maya Bennett, I said Maya Bennett. You need a little Maya damn Bennett. Yo.
We chilling, man, we chilling.
No, they say I left their gym, now you're Bennett. No, we drinking drinks.
Like your Bennett?
No.
We lost first round, like your Bennett?
No.
You lost second round, like my Bennett?
No. How you got it, now you're Bennett? No. Ralph T make it rain, now you're Bennett? No. No.
How you lost election, like my Bennett? No.
Your girlfriend let my picture, now you're Bennett? No. Your girlfriend let my music, now you're Bennett? No.
You kick out, like my Bennett?
I ran away.
Man, I love the guy. That guy can sing. Yeah, that's the serious man. That guy can sing.
No. They killing dog, everything. We killing cow, everything. No freaking bad day.
No bad day, brother.
They will learn the highway. Y'all will let them Maya Bennett. Y'all will let them Maya Bennett.
Y'all will learn the highway.
Let them Maya Bennett. Y'all need a Maya Bennett. Maya Bennett, I said Maya Bennett.
I'm having fun time, man. I'm having fun time. Well, how many of you having fun time, man?
Maya Bennett, I said Maya Bennett. Yeah, you need a little Maya damn Bennett. Yo, the neighbor having barbecue.
That your Bennett?
No.
You can't win second round, like my Bennett?
No.
You always crying behind, like my Bennett?
No.
You can't go to debate, like my Bennett?
No.
You will not get a job, like my Bennett?
No. I cheated,
like your
Bennett. No. Your friend a side chick, now you're Bennett. No. I'm working.
I said CDC, that you be side chick.
You need a Maya Bennett. Maya Bennett, I said Maya Bennett.
I enjoy the evening, man.
I said Maya Bennett, I said Maya Bennett. Yeah, you need a little Maya damn Bennett.
No bad day.
No bad day.
Sean P. Nigga 12.
He who laugh last, laugh the best. Listen, y'all listen.
Bring a trap code. Trap code.
D12 on the beat.
Y'all a little Maya
Forget Philly, yeah.
Yo, a little Maya Bennett.
It's 5:32 p.m. 10/15/2017.
Maya Bennett, I said Maya
Liberia.
y'all need a little Maya damn Bennett. I said Maya Bennett, I said Maya Bennett. Yeah, y'all need a little
This is how we come to the end of the stress-free session.
Now we killing cow.
The Never We Are movement, the most patriotic, the most political.
I got my own style.
We shall overcome.
I'm married, now you're Bennett.
Boom.
I haven't been a girlfriend, now you're Bennett.
Boom.
I gave your friend my number, now you're Bennett.
Boom.
I eat McDonald's, now you're Bennett.
Boom.
I get money, I get money, now you're Bennett. No.
You not get voting Nima Lama Bennett?
No.
You not get voting Nima Lama Bennett?
No. Your friend ain't having baby shower, now you're Bennett. No. Your friend ain't getting married, now you're Bennett. No. Your friend ain't born in children, now you're Bennett. No. I try, now you're bidding. No, my girlfriend give me money, now you're bidding. No,
you can't win election like my Bene.
no,
You always crying around like your Bene.
no, let them my bidding. The good people let them my bidding.
Party, yeah, party. Who's that care for you, say? Leo. My Bene, man. I'm off. I'm not off like your Bene. My Bene, man. Leave me alone, enjoy myself.
No, they say I left that J, now you're bidding.
No, you can't win election.
Now you're bidding. No, the highway looking, now you're bidding.
No.
Gucci driving Bentley, now you're bidding. No.
This is how we come to the end of the stress-free session, and we are going to take our theme song, Professor Jones Dopo, where you are. Serious talk for serious people. We're ready now. We finish with phone now. Now we're ready to dismantle the guys. Kiss our liver. Now for go along. Kiss our liver. Now for go along. This case for you tomorrow.
Sweet, sweet, living is slow. Where the rich or poor.
We are the Never We Are movement, the most patriotic. It is our responsibility to make sure that George Weah is not elected president of the Republic of Liberia. It is a calling. We've done it before and we still have the ability to do it. It's great to capsize. No for go along. Oh, see que sawa livo. No for go along. I will take it from you tomorrow, mama. Tomorrow. Professor Jones Dopo. My brother, I pray for you too, Aliu. I pray for you, inshallah. Inshallah, God will give you long life. Aminat, how you doing, big sister? We're ready to beat them again. We'll beat their face down. I hope you got your plane ticket so we can go for the inauguration.
After me, the lesson, yeah, but it is ahead. Sweet, sweet,
Kiss our liver. Not for go alone, mama.
You can eat it.
Shout out to the former president-elect of the Republic of Liberia. The former president-elect. My man, it's funny, yeah? How can you former president-elect? You go take result from Nikrita and Clarita, you join the street, say you win election? Then.
Sweet, sweet, living is, where the rich or poor. Why not pray for long fellow?
He can pray for long life. As long as we live, the fellow will grow. So now we say thank you to Professor Jones Dopo, one of the biggest, folk music player in the Republic of Liberia. I've been knowing Professor Dopo for quite a long time. I remember when he played this music, Cassava Leaf. I used to live in the Clarendon Belt, and interestingly, we used to live in the same place. This music was a hit, and it is still a hit. I love this music. I love this music because it brings to mind the importance of life. There are times you see people try to give up, You know, when the professor tells you in the music that, "Brethren, don't pray for long fellow, pray for long life." What that is, you know, the longer you live in terms of achievement, the probability is you will succeed. And we want to encourage all of you people on this our discussion platform, even to those of you that see us as adversaries. For those of you who think we are educating the Liberian people so much that you will not get your aim and mission accomplished, we do not hate you. We love Liberia. We love that country. If we decide not to educate the people about the danger that lies ahead, and George Weah becomes president, history will judge us. Our children and our children's children will ask us, "Daddy, when the wife of the mass murderer was on the ticket of the CDC, what role did you play? What role? Who you rather talk to?" And I want to stand up that day. I want to stand up that day and tell my daughter. I want to stand up that day and tell my son. I want to stand up that day and tell my great-grandchildren that I played my part. You know, I said what I knew. I educated the people, and the people decided to make the decision. Liberia is the oldest African republic and the second oldest black republic in history. The first being Haiti. Haiti is somewhere in the Caribbean. Haiti is the oldest African republic. So, on the continent, we are, and we have always been, the mother nation that helped to foster the independent struggle of most of the big economies in Africa. I am sure if we were stable for the last 20 years, the struggle in South Sudan wouldn't have happened, because Liberia would have been in the perfect place to address some of those conflicts in Africa. Interestingly, we have our own struggle to take care of. Today, Getju, you are welcome. Today, we are at a crossroad. Our history is at a crossroad. Our people, the life of our people, our seat in ECOWAS, our seat within the United Nations, our seat within the African Union has to be protected. That seat has to be occupied by qualified men or women. And our oath, we, members of the Never We Are movement, our oath is to avoid any political accident, any political janjaweed that think they have seen the opportunity to come and loot and rape our country up. We, as members of the Never We Are movement, we are going to create the checkpoints. The checkpoints were created during the first round, when all of those people parading the corridors, claiming that they were the most popular, that they were going to give a first round they were going to get a first round victory. We stood up, we launched the Never We Are movement, and we started canvassing We started using our mega resources. When we went to the polls, our results show that we did a great job. We were able to create the checkpoints. When the CDC was setting up a computer lab, when they decided to have and publish and distribute pre-tallied election papers, we said it right here. And so for us, we will be here to defend the people who do not have the political will, the political strength, the voice to defend themselves. We will defend them. My name is David Kapili. I am one of the believers of the philosophy of the Never We Are movement. The Never We Are movement is the biggest, the largest, the strongest, the most progressive political movement and the only independent political movement in the history of our country. We are here to create and explain, to create checkpoint and explain why those reactionary forces within the CDC should not be trusted. We are going to respond on this platform today to the press release we understand that has come up from within the Liberty Party. We have in our possession press statement from the Guardian National Youth Congress of the Liberty Party. The Youth Congress of the Liberty Party says, since October 10, 2017, elections, we, the Liberty Party, have noticed several irregularities characterizing the process. Those irregularities greatly affected the anticipated free, fair, and transparent electoral process that we all envisaged. In an effort to show our discontentment in the process, our party through Chairman Ben Savi and Standard Bearer Charles Walker Bromsky have called for halt to the announcement of provisional results and return to the elections. Those calls are being ignored and deeply rooted incompetent board of commissioners at the National Elections Commission. In efforts to show our seriousness in rejecting those results from self-fraudulent election, the Ghana National Youth Wing will this week begin an indiscriminate, violent-free demonstration in and around Monrovia and the national headquarters of the Elections Commission to send you a clear message of our compromising posture and until our demands are met. Considering the possible infiltration of evil forces, we call on the national police and other state security apparatus to provide us the necessary security protection as we conduct ourselves in keeping with the law. We will leave no stone unturned as we demand justice through the means possible, through all means possible. We are not in preparedness to accept a result within the ballot papers were not conducted before, where the ballot papers were not counted before the commencement of voting, like the case of the Vamuko Market Prison in Vartan. We will not accept any result where the numbers of votes surpass the number of registered votes, polling places, like in the case of Putu High School in Grangida County. No reasonable person will accept such electoral result where presiding officers of the National Election Commission in Nimba has been arrested for ballot stuffing. The Liberian people deserve their right to a free, fair, and transparent election. You know, this is a kind of issue that we want to respond to quickly. First of all, the argument of the Liberty Party that the commissioners at the National Elections Commission are incompetent is very disrespectful. Those at the National Elections Commission were nominated, they were sent to the Senate with their credentials, they were cross-examined and confirmed to take those positions that they are serving the Liberian people. I listened to Chairman Kokoya. Chairman Kokoya was clear that they are willing to follow the due process. If you have any qualm, if you have any reservation against the process, you should follow the due process of the law. That is, go on the NEC website, go and file your complaint, follow all the procedures. So make sure that your complaint is investigated and your complaint should be filed with proper evidence. To come as a political party and sit within your headquarters and call on a constituted body, the National Elections Commission, to pour halt to the provisional result, that is complete insanity. If you think you were cheated in the process, go to court. We do not want a situation where you sit in the comfort of your ECHO office, Councillor Bromsky and Ben Savi, and issue threats against our peace that we are enjoying. Chairman Kokoya has done well. All of the results are on the website. Let's agree for the sake of argument that Bada was tough in Nimba. Are you arguing that you are going to win Nimba? You know that is not true. And thank God, in it all, the United Party did not win Nimba. Another argument in this press release has to do with ballot stuffing or more voters voting in the polling center in Grangida. Thank God, again, the United Party did not win Grangida. The argument we are being in this press release that The battle was tough in Grand Juda and Nimba in favor of the Unity Party. But that is another argument for another day. All we want to say to the Liberty Party, you do not have the right to call on your partisan at this point to get in the streets. We are here. We are more than you. We have more number than you. The Never We Are movement have more members than you. We have the ability to offset your numbers. If we call on our membership to get in the street to support the results, we will outnumber you uprightly. I can boast about that. But in the meantime, we are calling on all of our members. We are calling on all of our sympathizers to stay away from the streets. Do not listen to the Liberty Party. The Liberty Party is bleeding politically. The Liberty Party is doing everything they can do to convince their donors about their defeat. Do not be used as a scapegoat. Do not get in the streets. The Liberty Party, we want to tell you that whoever, Councillor Bromsky and your boys, you will be held individually responsible if you cause the damage of lives and property. You will be held responsible. We have come a long way as a country. We have been through a lot. It is not your right, Councillor Bromsky, to be president of Liberia. While we respect your view, you can take your case to court. See you in court. Liberia is not a country of men. It's a country of law. If you think your results, if you think you want Monserrado County, for example, and you have the data sheet to prove it, go to court, present your case. Interestingly, Councillor Bromsky, you are a lawyer. Your argument to call young people to the streets, to sabotage our economy, to sabotage the movement of more than 4 million people, to undermine our middle class and our Liberian business and foreign investors, we will not take that from you. We will not take that from you. We will remain committed to the peace process and the Flemington Agreement. If you cause problem in our country, all of you, the Liberty Party guys, you will be held individually responsible. We want to respond to you as soon as possible. The Liberian people voted. The Liberian people decided. The Liberian people have the right to choose their president, their representative, and all people to represent their interests. If you lost a democratic election, that is not the end of the road. That is not the end of the road. The people of Grand Bassa County are decent people. The people of the Liberty Party are decent people. I know decent people within the party. But to come to this point, when the National Election Commission is pronouncing results and you try to discredit the credential of those guardian men and women who are sacrificing every single day to keep our country safe through providing the rightful numbers that represent the people that voted, we will not accept that. We will not accept that. As far as we are not on the same path, We as members of the Never We Are movement, we are Liberians. Insofar we do not want George Weah to be president, this is the same reason we do not want George Weah. We do not want George Weah because his vice standard bearer lacks the moral ground to unite our country and to keep our country peaceful. We are arguing against George Weah ticket because we understand that the characters of those people within a party, they do not have the moral credential to keep our country safe, both security and economically. We are telling you, Bromsky, and all of your bad boys, we are telling you, please retract this your press conference. This your press release. Retract it. We will hold you individually responsible. We will sue you. We will hold you legally for any problem you set up in that country. It is not your right to be president. It is not your right to be president. Being president of Liberia, it is a privilege. The Liberian people decide their president. Stop inciting violence. At the level of the Liberian Senate pro tem, you made a major decision. And that decision was the status of forces agreement. You carve it and you love it, and that particular agreement was passed, and disgracefully ECOWAS left Liberia. And so, the aftermath of that decision is what haunting you today. After ECOWAS left, hundreds, thousands of people were killed because our country went back into civil crisis. Our army was now restructured. There was no proper disarmament, and you forced ECOWAS out of our country. As a result of that today, you cannot even incriminate 10% of a valid vote. We want you to tell your boys to retract this press release. I'm so angry that I'm not going to read everything. Retract this press release. At the same time, we have from our intelligence bureau that there is a person within the National Elections Commission that is passing out information to certain individuals within the CDC. We have the content of a press release, a major press release that is to be held tomorrow by the CDC. We have the content of that press release in our possession. But what we are telling you, the CDC also, with the information we have in our possession, any attempt by you tomorrow to incite violence, you will be definitely directly applying for a cell at The Hague. You will be directly applying for a cell somewhere that you will never easily get away with. Do not incite violence. Any numbers you are fixing, you think whoever, we know the person that is passing the information is a female. And we know the person that is receiving the information and giving it to the CDC is a professor. On this media, on this platform, we will not name them right now. But we just want you, the Liberian people, to understand that the CDC will be having a press conference tomorrow. Very exciting press conference. The reason we are bringing it to your attention, because we told you a couple of things on this network. And you Liberian people decided to disregard, and you thought we were just having a political bluff. The Never We Are movement is sophisticated, and that is why every single time we try to bring forth our information, the RT boys from Georgia, the RT boys from Brooklyn, they are fighting to undermine our system. But what we have gathered so far, our intelligence bureau, has gathered more than 300 different names and different intelligence and different fake accounts. We are watching every movement of Ambassador Weah. We are watching every movement of the executive committee of the CDC. Matter of fact, we have within the title room of the CDC, we have our representatives in there. Within the executive committee meetings, before the agenda is published for the executive committee, we already have a copy. We are not doing or having a political bluff. We are telling you exactly what is going on. The reason why the CDC had to retreat, because we were able to capture the information and publish them and explain them both on our afternoon section and our midnight section. We told you that the CDC was going to declare a head of neck. They were going to declare victory. That came to pass. We are one step ahead of the CDC. What we are telling you, the executive committee of the CDC, we are telling you that tomorrow your press conference that you are having, we have copy of your press release. We have a copy. Maybe because we're saying that you are going to delay or change the content, but I can tell you that the computer you are using, you have 3 computers that you use to always do your press conference or to do your press releases. Whenever you sit on those computers, anything you're getting, we will get it. Don't even worry. And when you try to change it, we already know whatever you're doing. We have all of our intelligence on you. We are watching you. We are watching you. We are watching you because we do not want you to cause problem for the country. So your press release tomorrow, be careful. Change some of the word. We encourage you to have the press release. But your second and third paragraphs, you have to change them. It's really, really terrible. The second and third paragraphs is inciting. Change the second and third paragraphs. I'm telling you, because if you read our same press conference or press release tomorrow at your press conference, you are going to get into trouble. And we will hold you guys individually responsible. We hold you individually responsible. Change the second and the third paragraphs. We know there are some wording you use in the first and the last paragraph that are not really good, but they are not as inciting as the second and third paragraphs. We're telling you because we know your next move. We know your next move. Ladies and gentlemen, it is very sad at this point that people who are wanting to lead our country, they are reverted to reactionary tactics. They are reverted to creating situation that will set our country to fail. But one thing I can tell you, we are and we will defeat you. Whatever way you do it, we will defeat you. Everything you're doing is completely belated. We are one step ahead of you. So you and the LP, both of y'all have to be very careful. I am honest to you. I'm telling you what you need to know. The CDC is in a complete disarray at this point. The CDC is in a complete disarray. That is the reason currently the chairman and the vice chairman for operation and the standard bearer, there is an internal rankling. There is an internal rankling. We will not sit here and watch our country to go in the hands of those people. For us, it is our moral responsibility to expose your plans. For those of you talking about hacking, you don't understand. We are not hacking. We have our intelligence bureau that is sophisticated, that is within, and we will not expose our souls, but we can tell you that every single document that is done within the CDC, we have the ability to get a copy if we want it. That is why everything we keep saying on this particular platform keep coming to reality. We told you everything you needed to know before the election. We told you about the child stealer arrangement and the danger that was involved. The U.S. Congress amplified that. We told you that the CDC was going to declare herself winner of the 2017 election ahead of the next pronouncement. It happened because we have the intelligence. We told you 2 days after the election that there was going to be a runoff. Everybody here argue. Most people argue. You came to realize that it was true. We are trying to keep Liberia safe. We are convinced that Liberia cannot be safe in the hands of the CDC. These guys are playing dirty politics. If we do not speak now, when will we speak? To claim that you love the country, but you are doing everything illegally to put your countrymen's lives at risk, you do not love the country. We will expose you. We will. We will expose you. We've come to realize that if we do not speak now, when will we speak? If we cannot say it now, when will we say it? For many of you, you think election is a fun fair. It takes a minute to cast your ballot. It takes 6 years to undo that particular decision. We have come to let you know that in it all, we have a country to defend. We have a nation to protect. And as I speak to you, the seditionists are committing political suicides. Their actions are complete political suicides. Interestingly, we will encourage them to commit more political suicides. The CDC wants to tell their base that they were cheated again. And we want you to say that tomorrow. We want you to add your voice on the voice of Charles Bronski. We want you to do that. In the most recent history of this country, the National Election Commission is now performing exceptionally well. So if you listen to the results, you go to the NEC website, the results are published and they are even pie-charted. You do not need to incite violence. For us, at the level of the Never We Are movement, we are concerned about the sick and the shut-in. We are concerned about those people who are now mobile. I mean, the physically challenged people. We are concerned about the mentally challenged people. We are concerned about the economy of our country. We are concerned about our partners. Do not incite violence. We are begging you. If you think you got a number first round, the people are not dead. But let me give some clear and simple political analysis. According to you, you want 13 or 10 counties. Joseph Newman Barker won a single county. Your numbers were not equated to the constitutional number that could give you the presidency, even though you declare yourself president, which is amounted to treason. But we will give you that. However, in the midst of a second round, a brown-skinned Liberty Party that could not put up to 10% of the vote is trying to come to the Liberian people to incite violence. We're done with you, Bromsky and the Liberty Party. We will hold you individually responsible. And to you, the CDC, you still have opportunity. You are still in the game to join the line with those people that have already been thrown out of the line. You are risking your political life. We want to tell you in this public manner that we condemn any act to incite violence within our borders. We condemn it. We stand by the National Elections Commission. We stand by the peace-loving people of Liberia. And we believe that in it all we will. The people of Liberia will prevail. We are going to stand with the National Election Commission. I don't know when the Liberty Party realized that the commissioners at the National Election Commission were not competent. Why you did not raise this argument of incompetency before you register? Why you did not raise this argument only when you are defeated and cannot get even 10% of the votes? You are not trying to incite violence. You are not trying to appease your donors that you want to elect. You have the numbers, but somebody stop ballot. The place you're talking about stuffing ballot in Grand Gillette, George, we are one. The place you're talking about, people over voting in Grand Gillette, George, we are one Grand Gillette. The place you're talking about, people stuffing ballots in Nima County, Prince Joseph won. The place you're talking about double voting in Maserado, George, we are one. So who should be the one taking that argument? So I would safely argue that Joseph Numa Boaka will have become the president. Apparently, because of your allegation, that's why Joseph Numa Boaka is forced to go to runoff. Because the numbers coming from those counties disadvantage Ambassador Boaka. So who should be arguing? We are calling on the National Election Commission. We are calling on the ECOWAS Union. We are calling on the ECOWAS Commission and the African Union. We are calling on the United Nations. We are calling on all of our partners to weigh in on the Liberty Party. We are calling on the government of Liberia and the people of Liberia to not listen to Bromsky. We are calling on you not to listen to the Liberty Party. Those guys are desperate. They are bleeding. They are trying to revive themselves. They are saving face. To you, the young people of Liberia, you have better things to do at this point. Do not gamble your political future for a party and a man that did not even get 10% of the votes. If Councillor Bromsky feels that he won the elections, if Councillor Bromsky has the evidence that ballots were stuffed, go to the Supreme Court. Go to court. We will encourage the due process of the law. When the code of conduct disenfranchise and disqualify your vice standard bearer, Honorable Kanwe, you went to court. The laws were interpreted. Why are you calling people to the streets? Why you want to obstruct businesses? We understand that at least 25% of the population did not vote. But if you put people in the street, you are going to disenfranchise people who are just doing their regular businesses. We want to say this in this public manner. We are the level of the Never We Are movement. We are calling on the government and people of Liberia. We are calling on the Liberian people. Above all else, you are Liberians first. You are Liberians first. You are and will always remain Liberians. Before becoming a Liberty Party sympathizer or partisans, you have always been a Liberian. Do not allow somebody to use you as a scapegoat. Do not allow anybody to call you in the street for you to go and jump in the street and risk your life. If Councillor Bromsky and the Liberty Party feel they won the election, go to court. Go and have your day in court. We are not. We will not. We will not be afraid of you. You will not scare us. You lose. You lost the election. You did not reach the constitutional requirement to make it to the second round. Are you insinuating that we should go and have a rerun because of you? No, we are not going to that. In 2005, before we can even go and give consent to your argument, we will look at your electoral records. Based on your electoral history, we will consider whether we should be able to even give you credence. In 2005, you came third. You came third. And by the time you were there, Honorable Prince Yomi Johnson was running to be senator. He was running for the Senate. By 2011, when Honorable Yomi decided to run for president, he took the third place from you. You ended fourth. That was in 2011. In 2017, as it stands right now, you managed to make your way because we have 95.6% of the results so far. Currently, you have 144,359, which come out to the total of 9.8% of the total valid vote cast, which put you back to third place. While the United Party has 427,000, the CDC has 572,000. You are barely making it to 200,000. We are not going to waste our time because we understand that your number has always been either fourth place or third place. Do not hold our electoral process hostage. Do not try that because we are going to meet in court. At this point, we love to congratulate Honorable Jeremiah Kuhn for his re-election. And we also want to to state this in this public manner. That the argument is no more about continuity and change. Because George Weah is a senator in the current arrangement, the current regime. He is part of the current regime. Joel is a part of the current regime. Baka, interestingly, all of them work in the same building.